950s likely somewhere. The winds 135 to 140 miles per hour, right in tight on the east and northeast eye wall, right in there. The winds on that southern eye wall here, or I should say southeast or southwestern eye wall, not nearly as strong, but still destructive winds overall. Now, when you try to put a composite picture on what that might look like, where those category 1 and category 2 plus winds are, when you blend the Hurricane Center's data with the current recon information coming in, again, this is just an estimate. I tried to figure it all out for us, giving us the Cat 2 winds here on the northern side and the category 1 winds extending outward to the north and northeast, much more so than in any other quadrant. So this is a relatively compact storm still, but it is going to bring impacts obviously through the islands in the coming hours. Where's it going to go? Big question, the $1,000,000 question, right? We got a big old high pressure system right here over the southern U.S. This is the system that's largely going to control where Beryl ends up going. Look at where Beryl is right now. It's basically going west or slightly west-northwest. Hurricane Center's cone has it going that way. Why? Because this big old ridge of high pressure is not getting out of the way. In fact, it's only going to expand eastbound and then direct traffic around it in that kind of way. So really do not expect Beryl to move much farther to the north than the Hurricane Center's suggestion here, which is right on target with a lot of the data coming in from the various models. So heads up. If you live in Mexico or Central America late this week or early weekend, it is going to be a very powerful impact potentially with Beryl as it moves on through. The data one by one shows you that the GFS ensemble members, when you run those simulations over and over again, they kind of say the same thing. When they run the European Centers ensemble data, they kind of say the same thing. There really is not a whole lot of options to go north, but Felicia, that doesn't mean there's no options. If you have interest along the northern Gulf Coast, do not turn your back on Beryl. There is some small chance that it moves northward, more so than forecast.
Yeah, great time to go ahead and get prepared, just in case. Thank you.
About 20 miles per hour, so it is moving fairly quickly here, but a very powerful hurricane that is now having an impact on the islands at this point. We're going to be watching this thing get closer and closer here. There you can see there's Barbados, so you can see where it is in terms of the eye in relation to Barbados, but you can see where it is heading over towards basically the Grenadines, just south of St. Vincent, not too far from Grenada as well. Could be having some big impacts as this thing moves its way over the next couple of hours. With some big rain, big wind, of course, watching out for the surge as well in these areas. Now, as we look at the winds currently here, at least being measured here, there are a couple of areas here. Sewell seeing a gust close to 70 miles per hour there. Head over straight to St. George, 10 mile per hour winds. But we're going to be watching those winds get on the increase as we watch Beryl get closer and closer and move its way on through. You can kind of get a picture of where those winds are. That red zone, which is the smaller area, but that's where we have the strongest of the winds. That's where we have at least hurricane force winds, which extend about 35 miles out from the center. But the tropical storm force winds extend much farther out than that. We're talking a good 125 miles from the center. So we're seeing that still here in Barbados, as well as working your way back up towards a spot like St. Lucia, at least on the southern half of St. Lucia, finding some of those tropical storm force winds. So that's going to continue to work its way again north and westbound here as we work through the next couple of days. But in the meantime, even as you work your way well north, we're still even finding some impacts with some showers coming in the far northern extent here. The storm system well to the south. But we are still seeing some rain coming up through portions of the Windward Islands and the Leeward Islands as well. Here are some of the alerts that are in place for us. Tropical storm warnings, those are the areas that are in that red. Martinique, St. Lucia, you are in the tropical storm warnings. Trinidad also, while we've got the hurricane warnings here, still there around Barbados, over towards Grenada, Tobago as well, and even far out towards the north and the west. In anticipation here, tropical storm watches that are in place here for basically the southern portions of the island of Hispaniola. Hurricane hunters, they've been flying through Beryl. You can see the general path they've been going on through here with this thing, and this is what we have seen here over the last hour in terms of what they've measured. But you just extend this back beyond an hour, and we were seeing spikes well up into hurricane force there. But right now, they're well away from that general zone. You can see right in this general area, so far away from where you would be experiencing any kind of hurricane force winds.
To see like what's really going on. you know, like the ocean. But then I don't have a tripod.
We've got thunder and lightning now.
What's really going on to the...
Yeah. Ah. Yeah. Ah.
Man got bare wind in the chest. Man's chest was lifted.
In your battle. Yeah. The saddle. Yeah.
Who's ready? Listen one time.
The wind is picking up a bit. It's raining on and off.
Here's the latest from the Hurricane Center. This is their 5 a.m. advisory, which there has been some changes since the overnight issuing. The wind field is starting to grow. This is a very compact storm. I mean, yesterday, those hurricane force winds being 74 miles per hour or stronger only extended about 30 miles out from the center of the storm. Some of these islands are 60 miles apart. So there is a possibility that the strongest winds lace between some of these islands. That would be our largest hope, because unfortunately this is a Category 3 hurricane. Another thing to note this morning is that we are going under an eye wall replacement cycle. So if you just focus on this satellite imagery, right in the last frame, it completely clouds over the eye feature. And when you have a clouded over eye and you're starting to notice that you have an inner core and then another ring of thunderstorms outside of that, that is a new eye wall that is forming. And when that happens, not only can it change the wind field, but of course it means the intensity can come up.
Back here on Fox Weather with a special update from the National Hurricane Center just a few moments ago. Hurricane Beryl is now a major Category 4 hurricane, and it is expected to impact the Windward Islands within the next 24 hours. St. Lucia under a hurricane warning, and preparations, if not need to have been done already, are in the final hours of being finished up. Meanwhile, we have a couple other areas to watch in the tropics as well. So I want to give you kind of a brief update to what everything is, how everything is coming together. Beryl, of course, is taking the headlines here, but each of these storms are sitting in very warm waters. And this is what we know is going to be the upper threshold for such an active season, and also the culprit for potentially keeping each of these storms and the capability of these storms much stronger. So Beryl, we're seeing that now with just an incredible rate of rapid intensification in the last 24 hours. This time yesterday, Beryl was just a tropical storm. It is now a Category 4 major hurricane. Invest 94L, that's out here in the Bay of Campeche. It's moved over the Yucatan yesterday. It's beginning to emerge in the southern Bay of Campeche, which is the southern Gulf of Mexico. It has a very small window of getting some tropical development together. At the very least, it is going to bring rain to Mexico. We also have another area back behind Beryl, and I know a lot of eyes have already been watching this one. Invest 96L on the heels of Beryl, a little further to the south. We'll get into that in just a moment. But I want to give you the latest update again from Beryl. We had a special advisory come out just a few moments ago. 130-mile-per-hour winds, officially classifying it as a Category 4 hurricane. Pressure is down to 962. The NOAA hurricane hunters, they've finished up their mission. They're on their way back home, but we have the Air Force Reserve still flying through the storm. Just an incredible pinhole eye with this storm, classic structure as it continues its approach to the Lesser Antilles and the Windward Islands. But getting back to Invest 96L, so this is the area of disturbed weather, these thunderstorms that have a pretty equal medium chance, maybe even a smidge higher than that going into the middle of the week, of getting a name, tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm out of this. And you can see it follows right on the heels of Beryl. So Beryl expected to have an impact in the Lesser Antilles by tomorrow, especially by this time, tomorrow morning. And then 2 days later, we have Invest 96L. Here's the forecast models in tight agreement that this system is going to lift up through the Windward Islands. But the question is, what does that look like? Is it just a moisture surge, just some rain that adds insult to injury to the catastrophe that could be coming with Beryl? Or is it another tropical storm, tropical system? It does have a bit more in the way of hurdles to get over. There is some Saharan dust that looks to get mixed in, some upper level hostile winds. Just something we're watching for now. Let's take it one storm at a time. But Invest 94L back over in the Bay of Campeche. Just a quick look, 50-50 odds. Time is running out. By tomorrow into, say, early Tuesday, this storm is going to continue to just bring rain to Mexico. Back here on Fox Weather with a special update from the National Hurricane Center just a few moments ago.
Looks can be deceiving. It's a beautiful dawn here in the island of Carriacou, but unfortunately in just a couple of hours the core of Hurricane Beryl is going to arrive here to the island, and it is going to devastate the people that live here. A good example is this house right here. Unfortunately, the owner of the house is staying in the hotel room next to us because she says she can't trust her home's construction. I mean, and you can see it's very old.
So it's raining right.
Sometimes